What's up guys, this is TopTierYugioh and today we have a Blue Eyes Chaos Max deck profile. We're going to go over why the ritual build of Blue Eyes is still a very relevant and powerful threat. Then we're going to talk about all of the card choices including the main, side, and extra deck, and then finally some of those awesome combos that you can pull off as well. So be sure to stick around for more of this juicy Blue Eyes goodness. So I know first of all you guys are wondering why I play the ritual version of this deck, and I really feel that with the weakening of the meta through the ban list, especially in the Monarchs as they had the most outs to Chaos Max with Stormforth and Erebus, I do think that this deck has a lot of merit this format, because when you summon Chaos Max, you're going to win a certain number of games only because your opponent doesn't have the out to it. Then there are going to be games where you win because you can just OTK them. And so you have two different win conditions coming from one event, that being summoning Chaos Max. And I think it really gives the deck a lot of power. So aside from being a very good meta call right now, it's also a lot of fun. Like, I just simply enjoy summoning a 4000 attacker that can't be targeted or destroyed, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. Next, it excels in the philosophy of fire, which is the idea of exchanging life points for cards. Guild Dogger is a card that allows you to pay life points to essentially search cards from your deck to your hand. And not many decks have that option, and the fact that this deck excels in it is a very underrated tool. So let's go ahead and get into the profile. First, we play 3 Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragons, the namesake of the deck, and it is a level 8 monster, a ritual monster of course, with 4000 attack, and it cannot be targeted, it cannot be destroyed. When it attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts double piercing damage. So what that means is that you're going to do battle damage equal to the difference in Chaos Max's attack, that monster's defense doubled. So if you attack a monster with 0 defense, you're going to do 8000 points of damage. 8,000 points of damage. That's insane. Next we play 3 Guild Dogger, and Guild Dogger is one of my favorite cards in the deck, and I mentioned it earlier with the philosophy of fire. And so what Guild Dogger does is that you pay 3000 life points to discard one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. You can activate this multiple times per turn, by the way. And so normally you're going to use that effect to send the Herald of the Arclight to the graveyard. So when Herald of the Arclight is sent to the graveyard, you can activate the effect to search either a ritual monster or a ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. So by paying 3000 life points, you're able to search a ritual spell or monster from your deck to your hand. Because you can activate it more than once per turn, essentially you can pay 6000 life points to add both. And so I'm going to show you an example of that right now. And so if you have Guild Dogger, you can normal summon it, activate the effect once, send Herald from your extra deck to the graveyard, then activate Herald's effect, and you can search either Chaos Max or a ritual spell, whichever you don't have really. Next, you can activate the effect again, once again sending a Herald from your extra deck to the graveyard, then activating Herald's effect to search the other combo piece. And you did this with one card. Now imagine if you already drew Chaos Max and Ritual Spell. That means Guild Dogger is going to be able to get you to your second one. And double Chaos Max is actually a very common output of this deck, and it's one of the reasons I enjoy it so much. Next we play 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's a requirement in this deck. You need it in order to summon your alternative dragons, as well as to summon your Chaos Max from the deck with Advanced Ritual Art. Next we play 3 Alternative Dragon. The ability to have a level 8 3000 attack monster that you can just special summon from hand, again at no cost, only by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, is extremely powerful, and the fact that you can destroy monsters as well, it's insane. It really opens you up for synchro plays and Xyz plays with this deck. So Alternative Dragon serves a lot of purposes, and it's really sort of like the Swiss Army knife of this deck. Like, it just does whatever you need it to do. Next we play 2 Sage with Eyes of Blue. Sage has 2 purposes in this deck. First, it searches your defense in Effect Veiler, and second, it allows you to special summon Blue Eyes White Dragons from your deck, which can help you go into Xyz or Synchro plays. So Sage has 2 very important uses, however we only play 2 for a good reason. So in this deck right now we have 6 normal summons. We have 3 Guild Doggeras, 2 Sage, and 1 Red-Eyed Die. And I really didn't want to go over 6 normal summons, because through looking at past decks that have done well, usually 6 is like that cutoff point. And from looking at the statistics, if you have 6 cards in your deck, you only have a 15% chance of drawing more than one, and you don't want to draw multiples of normal summons because you are limited by only 1 normal summon per turn. However, your chance of drawing at least one is nearly 60%, and so you have a very high chance of drawing one, but a low chance of drawing multiples. And so I think it's a very safe range to be in. I definitely needed 3 Guild Doggeras, as its effect is important to the engine. I also needed the 1 Red-Eyed Die for its effects within its engine, and so Sage had to kind of fit in with whatever space I had left. And so that's why I only play 2 Sage. Next, we play 3 Terratops, 2 Take Tomborgs, and 1 Red-Eyed Die. So the Speedwar engine has a lot of uses as well in this deck, the first being the rank 3s. So you have access to Breaksword, which can pop back row or monsters. You have Totem Bird to protect your boards from spells like Stormforth or whatever your opponent might be playing, Cosmojo. And then you have Dante, which has the highest attack of all of them, and it's a great target for Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, which I do side. So that's what you can do with Terratop and Take Tomborg. However, with Terratop and Red Eye Die, you're able to go into synchro monsters. Any synchro monster between level 4 and level 7 you have access to. And so you're able to synchro summon your Heralds of the Arclight. You can synchro summon Black Rose Dragon, which is really devastating against a deck like Pendulums. You can summon Meteor Burst Dragon against something like Cosmo, Yang Zings, or any deck that floats. It's something great to special summon and then summon your Chaos Max afterwards, and then keep attacking over their monsters. And then there's actually a combo with Terratop and Sage that lets you go into Spirit Dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So if you have a Terratop and a Sage, and the blue eyes are just extra cards, don't worry about those, but you can special summon your Terratop, activate the effect to search a Red Eye Die, then you're going to normal summon your Red Eye Die, and then you're not supposed to activate the effect, don't do that, you want to keep it level 1. Then you're going to activate Sage effect in your hand, so you discard Sage targeting your Terratop to special summon a blue eyes from your deck, and now because Red Eye Die is a level 1 tuner and you have a blue eyes, you're able to synchro summon into blue eyes Spirit Dragon. And I really feel that Spirit Dragon is one of the best monsters of this format, because it can stop pendulum summons, it can stop graveyard effects, and with its quick effect to tribute itself to summon a synchro monster from your deck, you can also use that to disrupt your opponent with Moonlight Rose Dragon. So I really wanted to be able to summon Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, and Sage and its Speedrun engine allows me to do it. And for the last 4 monsters, we play 2 Maxis and 2 Effect Veilers as defense cards, along with Book of Eclipse. So let's go ahead and get into the spells. First we play 3 Melody of the Awakening Dragon. This card is just so powerful in this deck. The fact that you can search either Chaos Max, Alternative Dragon, or Blue Eyes, it really opens up a lot of your plays. And whether it be through Chaos Max or through Alternative Dragon, it really sets you up. And there's actually a combo with Sage that's kind of the bread and butter of all Blue Eyes decks, and I really enjoy being able to use it in this deck as well, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that combo right now. So first you go ahead and activate Melody of the Awakening Dragon to search and use that to search a Alternative Dragon and a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Next you go ahead and summon your Alternative Dragon by revealing the Blue Eyes in your hand. You can summon an attack or defense, it doesn't necessarily matter. Next you're going to normal summon Sage, activate Sage's effect to search Effect Veiler, and now that you have a level 1 tuner and a Blue Eyes monster, you can synchro in the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. And once again, Spirit Dragon is just so powerful this format, so adding a Veiler to that really creates an auto win situation in most cases. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you a even stronger version of the same combo, that being if you also open Terratop. And so first with this combo, you're going to special summon Terratop and activate Terratop's effect to search Take Tomborg. Now you're going to special summon Take Tomborg and then go into a Totem Bird. The Totem Bird is going to be able to protect you from spells and traps. Next, the combo is going to be relatively the same. So you're going to summon your Sage, activate Sage to search Veiler, activate Melody to add your Alternative Dragon and your Blue Eyes, and you can do that in any order. Like you can add the Blue Eyes and the Alternative Dragon first and then summon Sage. It doesn't really make a difference. But regardless of the order, you're going to end up making a Spirit Dragon. So you're going to summon your Alternative Dragon in this case, and then synchro summon into Spirit Dragon. So now you have Totem Bird, Spirit Dragon, and Veiler, so you're able to negate monsters, spells, traps, graveyard effects. Your opponent can't summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, and you can tribute Blue Eye Spirit Dragon for another monster. Like, that's just an insane field, and again, it's an auto win. Like, not many decks are going to be able to come back from that, like, regardless of what they draw. Like, there's just no way. Well, except Kaijus. But let's go ahead and get back to the profile. So after Melody, we also play 5 Ritual spells, 3 Advanced Ritual Arts, and 2 Chaos Zones. It's important to note that Advanced Ritual Art can only send tributes from your deck to the graveyard. So if you draw a Blue Eyes, it really hurts your ability to activate multiple Ritual Arts. Also if you banish them with Pot of Desires. So you have to be very careful with this card. And also very careful when you search it. You want to be sure that you have the Blue Eyes White Dragons in your deck. So if you activate Pot of Cupidity and draw into a Gale Dogra, it's important to look at what you banished so that you know what you need to search. And that's something that I actually forget to do every now and then, but it's something that you shouldn't forget to do. And so next we play 2 Swords of Concealing Lights and 2 Book of Eclipses. I wanted 4 cards to flip opposing monsters face down. However, I also wanted to play 6 defensive cards because again, 6 is sort of the magic number for something that you want to see, but not see multiples of. Next, I played 2 Pot of Desires. I know a lot of you are kind of against Pot of Desires because you banished 10 from the top of your deck, but having a draw 2 card with no restrictions, no limitations, it's just too good not to use, especially in a deck where banishing 1 of any card isn't necessarily game breaking. This is something that you should definitely play, for sure, in any Blue Eyes deck, I think. And then finally, 1 1-for-1 and 1 Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin's just to increase consistency. I didn't want to play the 3rd Pot of Desires because drawing multiple Pot of Desires is really bad, and in a combo deck like this where you're playing with ritual monsters, you really want to decrease your amount of dead draws. And then 1-for-1 is for being able to summon my level 1 tuners without normal summoning them, which is a situation that came up very often, where I really wanted that extra level 1 monster to make a Spirit Dragon to really solidify my field, However, I couldn't normal summon it. And so 1-for-1 gives me another way to do that. So let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. So we play 1 Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon. I only play 1 because you don't necessarily need to summon it to win. Remember, this is a Chaos Max deck, not a standard Blue Eyes deck. And I've never actually needed the second one, not a single time. And so I've been perfectly okay with 1, and that allows me to play other options, especially for Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries. Next, we play 1 of 0 Eyes for our Spirit Dragon, 1 Moonlight Rose and 1 Michael. I really like Moonlight Rose on my opponent's turn, being able to special summon Moonlight Rose and then bounce an opponent's monster back to their hand. It's really disruptive and so good, but then Michael is like 10 times better on my turn. So on my own turn, I can special summon Michael and banish any of my opponent's monsters for only 1,000 life points. And unlike Moonlight Rose Dragon, you can target any card, versus Moonlight Rose, which has to target a special summon monster. So with Michael, I can hit back row, I can hit like a Beatrice, or I mean, you can hit Beatrice and Moonlight Rose too, but Michael banishes it, which is even better. Next, we play 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. For when your opponent doesn't destroy Spirit Dragon, and you're able to tribute it for a level 7 Synchro Dragon, and then normal summon your tuner, Crystal Wing is something that you do have the option of going into. So it's important to play in this deck. Next, we play 1 Black Rose and 1 Meteor Burst as synchro monsters that we can summon off of our Red Eye die. Then we play 2 Herald of the Arclight for Gale Dogra. And then for the rank 3s, we play 1 Dante, 1 Breaksword, and 1 Totem Bird. Dante is for cherries, but however, it does have the most attack of the rank 3s, and so that can come up sometimes. Breaksword is useful for popping back row, and then Totem Bird is sort of a defensive option. Next, we play 1 Hope Harbinger Dragon for the rank 8s. It's the only rank 8 I play because they're very difficult to go into. Like, my only way to make rank 8s is double Chaos Max or Chaos Max Alternative Dragon. But there are not very many situations when you win Xyz with a Chaos Max, as it's just so powerful on its own. And the final 2 monsters I play in the extra deck is 1 Utopia the Lightning and 1 ABC Buster Dragon. Utopia the Lightning is any rank 4 deck's go-to out to Chaos Max Dragon, and so Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries gives me a way to sort of side against any random rank 4 deck I might play. And then ABC Buster Dragon is just a pretty common deck that I was seeing, and I felt that it was important to side against it to just keep them from summoning that monster as it gets their entire engine going. However, I'm still kind of playing around with that, so I'm not too sure. That spot can definitely be changed. And then for the side deck, it's difficult to say when I'm siding in and out in each matchup, as the format's not yet defined, but right now I'm siding 2 Gamesio for any deck that summons big monsters that can't be like targeted or destroyed. So something like Cosmo, this would be good against, but I also have System down for that. But it's also good in like the Chaos Max Mirror. It's good against Spirit Dragon. It's good in like a variety of matchups. It really just depends on the situation. It's just the overall good card. 2 Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries for Burning Abyss for any rank 4 deck that I don't side for already. Then we play 3 DD Crows, mainly for DDDs, but also for any deck that revolves around the graveyard, like I sided against Blue Eyes, which you'll see later, and just really any deck that revolves around the graveyard. Next, we play 1 Effect Veiler for anything that focuses around monster effects. And usually it's going to be good against combo decks, like if I play Fire King Cosmo or Metalful Yang Zing, Effect Veiler is going to be really important, especially having that third one, because I'll be much more likely to draw it in that situation. 3 System down for ABCs and Cosmo, and then 3 Twin Twister for any trap deck or pendulums. But I'm thinking about changing my side a little bit to have something else for pendulums. Like while Spirit Dragon is like a hard counter to that deck, I do want something else for them. I'm not quite sure yet, so I'm going to be testing around to see what I can do with that. So now that we know what's in the deck, let's talk about what's not in the deck, and the most notable of those is probably Return of the Dragon Lords, aka Gospel of Revival. So the only reason I don't play that card is that it's very hard to get monsters in the graveyard that you can actually summon off of it, and the real only way is to either discard it off of Melody of the Awakening Dragon, or to send it to the graveyard with Advanced Ritual Art. And my problem with that was I didn't want to play a card that was only good when I was already ritual summoning. Ritual summoning in and of itself is a very fragile mechanic, so you don't want to play cards that only work if you ritual summon something. I keep wanting to say Gospel of Revival, but so that's what happened with Revival of the Dragon Lords, and so I eventually took it out after just dead drawing it so many games. And while the effect is very good, like it's undoubtedly good, just being a good card that works in your deck doesn't justify playing it. So I sort of thought that that was a good example of that, because a lot of times I see players playing very good cards in their deck, and sometimes it's okay, but just because a card is good doesn't mean you should play it, because there are often better options. Alright guys, thanks for watching this far into the video, and if you did, drop me a hashtag down below, comment hashtag juicy blue eyes goodness, and if you did, that lets me know that you really care about Blue Eyes content, so I know to make more of it. I also have some dual videos with the deck if you'd like to see those, so once again, comment hashtag juicy blue eyes goodness. And then I also want to give you an update. So I was selected for the top 16 of the next great YouTuber, so I will be making videos for that on NimNim's channel, which I will link in the description, so definitely check that out to support me, and it would mean the world. And then finally, I'm now on social media. If you ever want to contact me, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Duolingo, all at tier Yu-Gi-Oh. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.